Okay, so let's begin. If you have everything, you should find a dashboard that looks something like this. Now, we're going to do our first thing, which is create the simplest application possible. So this is what IBM Cloud would look like, which now is quite empty. You will learn better how to use it. But to find things, you can use the menu on the side, but your source of truth really is the dashboard. But you won't find anything. You're here, but there's nothing really. So let's create a resource. We're going to create the simplest application possible. So let's go and create a resource. And what we're looking for is a runtime for Node. So let's see if we can find it. Services, software, probably in compute. No. Then what we're looking for is Cloud Foundry. So Cloud Foundry is this application container that is open source and is used by IBM to serve platform as a service. So here we say we want to create a public application, which will basically spin up everything that we really need. Alright, so let's look at a few things that we need. First of all, we want to choose the region. And because we are in Australia, we want to have the minimum time possible. So we're going to use Sydney. Let's see what it says. We can create standard, and this is how much we can do because we are on a very light plan. So we don't have much choices for the size. But that's more than enough for us. And then we're going to choose SDK for Node.js, meaning that this will be a container that will contain a Node.js application. Let's give it a name. In my case, will be SIT 737 2020 week 2. Let's say domain So apparently we cannot do it in Sydney, but we can in Dallas. So we'll stick to Dallas. That's unfortunately the restrictions with our account at the moment. So how big do we want the application? We want the application to be as small as possible because all we can do with this account is at the most 256, and we want to use it for something else. So we're going to choose 64 megabytes. SDK for Node.js, we keep that as it is, and that should be fine. We're going to say create. So the great part is that it is doing all the binding by itself, so we don't have to worry about it. Here's some information about it. It says up here that it is starting it, so that's where it is. Here you can have a look at a few things. You can have a look, for example, the overview of the application. You can go and see, for example, what build pack it is using, how many instances it is using, how much memory per instance, and what is your total allocation in general. You can see that it's not going to cost you anything. Connections is if you're going to add things like maybe a database to it. And here if you want to have continuous delivery, which we are not going to be touching just yet. Let's have a look. We can have a look perhaps at the log so we can actually see what the application is doing, which is here it says exactly what has happened so far. Okay, so it's green, so it's been deployed. We can go and visit it. And here's my first application fully deployed. If you go on the website, you will actually see it. And so this is the first application that we created today. Very simple, nothing more. That should be enough. Thank you.